It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Georgia Bulldogs Director of Men's and Women's Track and Field, Head Coach Caryl Smith Gilbert. How are you doing today?
Good. It's Carol.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to be a head coach?
I think after so many years of being an assistant, I started to learn the different aspects of each track and field program, and trying to get some more light here. And head coaching seemed to be the way to go. After you're an assistant for so long, you have to decide. I tell some of the people that I mentor that you have to make a decision on being a head coach or not. So some people are cut out for it. And I guess I could say I just don't like being told what to do much. So that might be the reason.
What was your time like going to UCLA?
Oh, UCLA was a fantastic place. I didn't run as well as I had hoped or dreamed I'd run, but the overall experience of being on campus, being in Los Angeles, meeting new people, that's lifelong.
What was it like, obviously, going to Penn State as the assistant coach?
Penn State was a different experience as well. I was able to learn how to be a college coach. I had to get my foot in the door from being a high school coach. So it was a great place to start.
Of course, what was it like going to Alabama as your assistant coach?
So the transition from Penn State to Alabama was night and day. I was still an assistant coach, but I had to learn how to recruit and compete in the SEC. I was really nervous about going to Alabama because I knew that the competition level and the competitiveness would be at an all-time high.
Of course, staying in the SEC, what was it like going to Tennessee?
Tennessee showed me taught me how to run a program and win championships. It was a little easier to recruit there than it was at Alabama. We won the national championship in 2005, and I learned how to win championships and how to really be competitive as a head coach.
Can you talk about, of course, what it was like winning your first championship at Tennessee?
Oh man, it was really exciting. It was indoor at Arkansas in 2005. And we had a great team, and we lost our 800 runner, Nicole Cook, the week before she hurt her hamstring, and she had just broken the collegiate record in the 800. So that was a little bit, we were nervous about that. And Dee Dee Trotter had gone pro, who was supposed to be on the team. So for us to come through with a lot of freshmen and younger student athletes.
What were some of your accomplishments at Tennessee, obviously, besides going to the championship?
Well, at Tennessee, I was able to earn 2 master's degrees, one in sport administration and one in sport management. And I was assistant coach of the year, national assistant coach of the year. And I got married in Tennessee. Well, I got married in Bahamas, but I hadn't met my husband.
What was it like going from Tennessee to Central Florida?
That was a culture shock. I was used to being in the SEC at that point. I had been in Alabama for 3 years and Tennessee for 5 years. So to go to Conference USA, I was sort of like, but I knew that I had to go to UCF and prove that I could do well and be successful as a head coach if I wanted to be a head coach at a Power 5 school. But Orlando proved to be very good for me and my family. They took very good care of us. The school was on the uprise, beautiful campus, great weather. I love Orlando weather. So it was a positive.
What was it like going from Central Florida to UCS?
USC? That's probably the hardest job I ever had because I was always used to working with women only. But now I had men and women, plus parents, plus the politics of private school. I had to learn the ins and outs of being in private school. I had never done that. But, Los Angeles again, I was familiar with that. I was familiar with recruiting the West Coast, but I also now had a lot of years, like 20 years in the South. So I had a lot of Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, East Coast connections up north from all the places that I had been. So everything that I had done previously tied into that job, and it helped me learn and it kind of helped me know what to do. And being a head coach at UCF, I made a lot of mistakes as a head coach. So then I knew what to do at USC.
What was it like, obviously, getting your first time to be obviously the men's coach and the women's coach?
More than anything, people ask me that question. It's not about men or women. I think it's more about the numbers. There were just more people to coach. I don't particularly look at them as too much of a difference, a little bit in, how you speak to them, meaning the men seem to think they are invincible at all times, while the women, you do more talking about the belief they have to have in themselves and confidence. So other than that, the numbers are the biggest factor. There are just more people to coach.
What was it like in 2018, obviously going to the championship?
Going into the championship, I can't remember what we were ranked, but I don't really get involved with rankings. We told the team the same thing the whole year. Effort and execution, stay focused on what we have to do, stay steady. It got a little crazy because we had 3 hurdlers that were supposed to, and there's no supposed to in track and field unless it happens. We're supposed to make the final that didn't on day 1. So that was a big blow for us, but we were able to come back with some solid performances because we didn't change our mindset. And of course, everybody knows about the relay. Kendall Ellis ran everybody to the line and beat them. And we won the national championship. So that was an exciting time. My first championship as a head coach. My dad had just passed, maybe 6 months. He came to LA to visit me and went into a coma. Nobody knows that. So for me, it was very emotional because he used to be at all of the national championships.
What was it like, obviously, going from California to back in the SEC to Georgia?
Oh, it's been fun. I think, again, all of the knowledge that I have from each place, now I can take what I learned at USC, bring it to Georgia, but learn Georgia's way, learn the SEC rules because they've changed a lot since I've been gone. I've been gone for 15 years. So learn the way that they do things in the SEC and just be competitive and have fun, let the kids have fun.
What has it been like, obviously, since you've been at Georgia? What are some of the things that you've accomplished?
We haven't been here very long. I can't say I've accomplished much yet. Had a pretty good, solid recruiting class. Just trying to get all of our ducks in a row and see what this season brings and then just improve every season from here.
What are some of the things that you plan to accomplish here at Georgia?
Well, I would love to be the first woman to win the national championship on the men's side. That would be something I really want to do. I have a lot of individual national champions, except I don't have one in the women's 100. That annoys me. Something always seems to happen in that race. I think, 100% graduation rate for all 6 teams, making sure that the student athletes have a good experience. So when they look back, they can have conversations and memories about the University of Georgia track and field and school experience that are positive.
What does a typical track and field meet look like in the SEC and in particularly at Georgia?
Well, I'll have to tell you that later because we haven't started yet, but they're going to be competitive. Every school is good. Every school has good points. Every school has good points, meaning strong event areas. Some of them, all the event areas are strong. So there's always competition, and we're going to have to stay very humble and compete with humility and just do our job.
What's it going to look like, obviously, to get to compete against Alabama and Tennessee again, also with Florida and South Carolina in the mix?
It's going to be tough. They're formidable opponents, to say the least. But, we're going to compete against them and the rest of the United States as well. So nobody, you can't take anybody for granted. So we try not to focus on one particular group or one particular team, and just remember, you have to race everybody.
Who are some of the teams that you look forward to competing against this year?
All of them. Really, I want to see what we can do for ourselves. Competition, of course, will show who rises to the top, but more than anything, we have to work on what we need to do.
What does the recruitment process look like for prospective student athletes looking to go into track and field?
Well, it's changing more and more with the different leniency of rules that the NCAA is allowing now. But I would say start running fast, first thing first, have good grades. We'll find you. We go to all the meets. We look online. We're tracking stats. We're looking at video. So that way we know who we're trying to recruit and who fits our program.
Of course, what does the official visit look like for prospective student athletes looking to go into track and field?
We bring them to campus, show them the facilities, show them what we have to offer, take them on a tour of campus, let them meet with the academic advisors in athletics, but also in academics, because that's what they're coming for, academics. So we try to give them a full or well-rounded experience during their 48 hours. And I try to make it as closest to how it really would be if they were on campus as I can. So that way, when they get here, they don't get any surprises.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you have started building at Georgia for track and field?
Yeah, we're basing everything on integrity, discipline, hard work, and consistency. There's no miracles are going to happen on Saturday. Nobody's going to nobody's going to let you just have something. You got to work for it. You're always going to have formidable opponents, and you have to be prepared, and you have to have short-term memory when it doesn't work out your way.
What advice would you have prospective student athletes looking to go into college track and field?
I would say start working on, what skills you want to bring with you early. Work on time management now, because that seems to be the biggest shortcoming of freshmen, time management. Learn how to wash your clothes, learn how to cook, learn all the things that you're going to have to do on your own now.
What advice would you have college coaches looking to get started as their first time head coach or even as assistant coach?
I would say stay the course, find out what the organization is looking for, what their goals and expectations are, and follow those things to what they want. And always remember, winning is how you move ahead.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Georgia Bulldogs program at?
Coach Caryl, Caryl, Coach Caryl, SG, like Smith Gilbert. That's my Twitter and Instagram. And then Georgia Bulldogs, you can go to Go Dogs or Bulldogs.com, I believe, and then scroll to track and field under sports.
Thank you again, Coach Caryl Smith Gilbert, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Georgia Bulldogs track and field program.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Have a good day. Happy New Year.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Caryl, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.